Please take your seats if you're so kind. So we're now starting the third panel of the day, the impact of international geopolitics on Spanish trade. To begin with, I'm giving the floor to the Director of Europa Press, Candelas Martín de Caviedes. Candelas, please.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. Buenos días. Gracias por acompañarnos hoy. Today, we are going to discuss in this roundtable a topic that is key for the Spanish economy, its external sector, in a context of rising geopolitical tensions, of moving and changing protectionism, in a context of fragmentation of commercial trade. And for that, we have a fantastic panel, because this panel combines institutional perspective with top-level business experience. I would like to welcome in this panel the Secretary of State for Trade and Chair of ICEX, Amparo López Senovilla, alongside with leaders from a strategic sector with a strong global presence. Josep María Recasens, President of ANFAC, also Chief Strategic, Product and Program Officer at Renault Group, also CEO of Ampere, and President and Managing Director of Renault Spain. Welcome and thank you for joining us this morning. Bernardo Velázquez, CEO of Acerinox and President of Wineseed, and Félix Solís, General Director of Félix Solís. Thank you all again and welcome to this panel. I would like to open this debate with a broad question about how these uncertainties, these geopolitical tensions are impacting your sector, your businesses. But first, I would like to give the word to our Secretary of State of Trade. How do you see all this landscape, all this context is impacting export, imports, and trade? What is your vision?
Thank you, Candela. Thank you very much. It is a great pleasure for me to be here. Yesterday, I had the chance to be also in the opening session. This event has consolidated as the best way to start the economic year. So, regarding to your question, we are managing or we are dealing with a very, very complicated geopolitical context in which it is present, geopolitical risks, the threat of new tariffs, trade wars. Well, you know perfectly the context we are dealing with. And this situation could easily point toward a slowdown in the global trade, but I have to be optimistic, and we have to congratulate on the fact that it is not the Spanish case. I think our industrial fabric is showing in this situation a great capacity of adaptability and resilience. And let me share with you some figures. Spain is going through a very solid moment in its external sector. We have reached impressive figures. Let me share with you. We have reached a new all-time high in good exports, exceeding the figure of 324 billion euros in exports of goods, which is an impressive figure. And just in the month of October, just in October alone, last October, we reached the figure of 36 billion euros in exports. So these are good figures, but also speaks about something very important, which is the competitiveness and the maturity of our companies. This performance, let me say also, that goes beyond the economic cycle. Spain is now a relevant player in the international landscape, and while other countries are growing slowly, Spain is growing in a steady and confident pace. and this means a lot in terms of maturity and competitiveness in general. A big part also of this momentum in the external sector is also the improvement of our trade balance. While we are exporting a lot, but at the same time we are reducing or narrowing our deficit, largely thanks to the reduce of the deficit of energy prices, more than 50%. We have made a reduction of more than the 50% in the energy deficit. This means a lot in terms of macroeconomic stability, but at the same time, reduce our exposure as a country to the global energy volatility. It is also important not only how much we are managing to export, but also what concretely are exporting. In that regard, I would like to highlight that we have traditional pillars in exports, like, for example, food, non-chemical semi-manufacturers, or automotive. We have here the president of ANFAC, and I guess you are going to elaborate a little more about that. But also, we see how new drivers appear in exports. And this, let me share with you some of them. Capital goods, consumer and energy products, and this means that Spain is able to export more sophistication, more technology, and more added value, which is quite important. All this is taking place in a very geopolitical, very complicated geopolitical moment, with very important changes in the American trade policy, with these so-called reciprocal tariffs and the opening of the investigations under the Section 232. And in that regard, I have to say that the agreement between the USA and the EU that finally we reached at the end of July, well, it is not the ideal agreement, but in some way has been able to contain a worse scenario in which an escalation took place. And on the other hand, this agreement placed both Spain and Europe in a relatively favorable position if you compare with other countries. At a national level, with all the situation and with the announcement of these so-called reciprocal tariffs, we immediately reacted. You know perfectly that this announcement of tariffs was made by President Trump the 2nd of April, and just the 3rd of April, the president of the Spanish government, Pedro Sánchez, announced the launching of the response and relaunch plan that mobilized the entire Ministry of Economy, Trade and Business and its whole network, our internal network, also all our economic and trade offices around the world. And of course, we have reinforced the tools we manage for internationalization of the companies. You have here today the president, the chairwoman of COFIDES, and also we have also the FIEN, the Fund for Internationalization of the Companies, and also the Insurance for Exports, which is managed by CESTE. And of course, we cannot forget about our promotion through ethics. And well, we have seen the USA on the one hand, but if we turn to the other big competitor or the other big agent in the economic trade, we have to turn to China. And in that regard, I would like to say that, well, we have increased a lot our global trade with China over the last years, but at the same time, and we see at the same time a great interest in investment or Chinese investment in strategic sectors, all regarding to green transition or sustainable mobility. But in that way, we have to take advantage of the possibilities that offer for our companies, but be careful about the management of the risk that affect to the supply chain. So we are working with not only at a national level, but also at a EU level in how to reduce dependencies and vulnerabilities. Well, I would also add something about that we are able to maintain important surpluses with important countries. France, Portugal, and the United Kingdom. And at the same time, we are reducing our deficit with non-EU countries. That means a lot in terms of diversifying. And if we see our trade agenda, both the EU and Spain are in the path of opening, because we are an open economy. We cannot close themselves, and we are trying to widen our ties with some countries, as for example, I would like to highlight the importance of free trade agreements, and overall the free trade agreement with Mercosur that finally was adopted by the EU Council last week, and we hope is going to be signed this weekend in Paraguay. Well, all that leads us to a clear conclusion. We are not only exporting more, but also we are exporting better. And we are consolidating to a more open, resilient, and internationally oriented economy that can lead us to face better the challenges are coming. Thank you.
It is quite reassuring to hear you, Secretary of State, to hear that the figures are sound, that we are showing resilience, we are showing adaptability, which is really important because, as you mentioned, Spain is an open economy, so that implies important risks, but I see also strategic opportunities in the way Spain is advancing in these uncharted waters. I would like now to hear the vision of the companies that are also navigating in these uncertainties. I would like to ask you, Josep Maria, you are in an automotive sector which is really global, which can see the impact of all these trends that the Secretary of State of Trade has advanced. Are these uncertainties, are these geopolitical tensions impacting decisions of production, of investment? Is it reshaping value chains? Can you share your insights?
Yes, sure. First of all, thank you very much for the invitation in that panel. Let me start with a question. Do we need to be scared? Yes. Do we need to be worried? Yes. Do we need to surrender? No, right? The reality beyond the geopolitics is that my sector, our sector, with my colleagues here represented, we have never faced so many challenges, all of them at the same time, right? The automotive sector has been traditionally an ultra-competitive sector, but never facing so many challenges at the same time, right? It's not only about geopolitics. The geopolitics is the last challenge that we are facing, right? But we are facing challenges like decarbonization, we are facing challenges like scarcity of materials, volatility of prices, uncertainty in technology, and so on and so forth, right? Without forgetting the tsunami of regulations that we have also to face, right? So all of that packet, and it's the reality that we are facing, right? And in the geopolitics, just to mention some of them, is all about import duties, it's all about competitiveness, etc., right? Many people are asking us, do you agree on the import duties as a protectionism measure? But we are an open economy, we like competitions. Yes, of course, but we like competition in a fair manner, right? It's like playing soccer 11 against 11 or playing soccer 11 against 15, right? The import duties that the European Commission put in place is just to level the play field between we, Western OEMs, and Chinese OEMs, just to offset the advantage in terms of subsidies, wages, and labor cost advantages that they have in China, right? It's not about just protectionism, it's just to calibrate and balance the unfair competition in that manner. And we have to say it very clearly, right? Important is how we want to use that time of protectionism or import duties, because we cannot sit back and relax, right? Because believe me, it is not about ideology, right? It's everything about technology. We can talk about whatever we want. What we are facing in a global base is a technological war, right? And China, and probably also US, have realized that the automotive sector is cutting transversally the most important technologies we have in the planet, right? And there are certain materials and components that are of crucial strategic technological advantage and sovereignty. And the ones that do not understand that, they need to understand, please, that. This is a technological race, and there is no time to lose. Europe is reacting, yes, probably not at the speed that we would like, Europe has put in place already the first movements in that direction last December, that probably will be complemented next 28th of January with the Industrial Acceleration Act. There are certain measures that flexibilize the way towards decarbonization, right? The famous ultra-abused word of technological neutrality, but not only that. Boosting innovation, boosting competitiveness, but we need more, right? Because if not, China and US will banish all of us, right? And we have already examples of industries and technologies created, scaled in Europe that have totally disappeared, just to name one, solar panels back in 2012, right? And probably the automotive sector, the Western automotive sector, is the very last industrial technological pillar that remains today available in Europe. And if someone has discounted that, someone has to tell me who's gonna replace the contribution that the automotive sector is doing in Europe. 10% of the GDP, right? 250,000 billion euros invested for the next 5 years to come, all OEMs together. So yes, we are worried. Yes, we are scared. We will not surrender. We will push back. We will fight like hell to keep the automotive industry as one of the economical and social progress pillars for Europe.
We certainly hope that it happens because it's a strategy for Spain. We need to industrialize Spain, at least to keep it, to gain this strategic independence. So I will ask you later, because you just said, how do we move faster, because we cannot lose this race, this technological race. Before asking Felix, because it's very interesting, I would like to ask Bernardo, because you do share the same plights, the same fears, the same fight. You are the CEO of an industrial company that operates globally. It's also in the United States. So you face the same challenges. You have to address. How are you seeing this landscape? What worries you most? Do you share some of the views that Josep Maria has pointed out?
Thank you, Candela. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Very glad to be here today. Of course, as an industrial sector, I agree 99% of what Josep had mentioned. No? We are more or less in the same ship. Let me give you some perspective, because now we are always speaking about tariffs, about these new geopolitical situations, but we need to have we have to look back to have some perspective, because something after so many years, maybe 2 decades of a very stable and peaceful globalization, something happened in the world. No? To give you an example of what for me happened, and the steel sector was the first one to start in suffering this new situation. In the year 2000, China was making 3% of the world stainless steel. In the year 2006, 2007, Acerinox was the largest group in the world. In the last year, China plus the Chinese companies in Indonesia produced 73% of the stainless steel of the world. So that means that they have kept, all the growth of the sector in the last 25 years. Now Acerinox Group is 5th in the world, after 3 Chinese companies and 1 consolidated group. So that is the perspective. That we started suffering this in 2014. We started taking measures, trade measures against China in 2016. That was the first anti-dumping against China. And then we have been experiencing, a chain of movements, some in the trade side, just trying to resist under this invasion of the Asian countries, especially China. And in 2016, we put an anti-dumping in Europe against China. 2017, the Obama administration put an anti-dumping against China and the United States. 2018 was the first tariffs in the United States. 2019 was safeguard measures in Europe. So we have started a race of trade measures all around the world. Of all the countries, so all the countries producing stainless steel have trade measures against other countries. So it's difficult to speak today about an open market. And it's an open market. Europe is the biggest open market in the world. And so we cannot resist the unfair play of other competitors. What we are always asking for is what we call the level playing field. So we need to play with the same rules. And this is what we have been trying to do all this time. After that, we have started to suffer another chain of another geopolitical or incidents in the world that have also affected the supply chains. Remember, 2020 was COVID, but 2021, there was a big accident in the chain, in the Suez chain. I remember the Evergreen was the Korean vessel that was stopping, the traffic in these Suez chains. We had the Ukrainian war, and then we all realized that how important is to diversify your supply chains, how important is to diversify your purchases, but also your commercial strategy. This is key, and I think most of the companies realize that we have to diversify, and we cannot put all the eggs in the same basket, especially if the basket is 20,000 kilometers away from your factories. This is important, but I think that also governments realized how important it was to have masks in Spain, or breathers, or these kind of things, and we started to build this new concept that is very important for us. I think it's important for our society and our way of living, that is called the strategic autonomy. And this is key. I mean, this is what is the frame of everything. Of course, now the situation is changing very rapidly. I cannot say that I have to implement our strategy every year. We have to do it every month or every day. You wake up and you have to see what new tariffs you have in the world, how to adapt the supply chains. In our case, we are buying raw materials in New Caledonia, Venezuela, South Africa. These countries are so far that we have to design, when the vessel is coming to our factory, we have to decide if it's going to go finally to Spain, United States, or South Africa. No? Because you have to get adapted to the daily new situation. And so tariffs or any kind of supply change, incident or factors are now fully integrated in our strategy. I mean, so we have to have a risk management system, a very agile risk management system. We have to be flexible, and we have to look for a diversification. I think this is key, because all of this is affecting our strategy, our commercial strategy, but it's also, as a global group, it's also affecting our investments. Finally, to invest for the long term, you need, of course, a stable frame, but also you need some perspective of a strong local market, and at the end, you need a protected market. We have to, of course, we can do, as probably the auto is doing, moving to more sophisticated materials, going to more sophisticated products, added value products, but finally, you need the base of production. You need quantities as well. So you cannot renounce, we cannot convert our steel plants in jewelries. That doesn't work. No, so we need protection, and I think that the European Union slowly, or at least not as fast as we would like, but is moving in the right direction.
So we are indeed in a very difficult race, technological race, a race to be strategically independent, where there is many obstacles because geopolitical conflicts and tensions keep arising. But the key is, as you mentioned, flexibility, resilience, and we will speak, if we have time, more about that. But I want to hear Mr. Felix Solis. You lead a company with a strong international footprint, and you are in a sector, the agri-food sector, which is particularly exposed to these changes of tariffs, of regulation that your colleagues have mentioned. So which impact are you seeing? How do you resist? How do you adapt? How do you continue to be a strong company in these complicated waters?
Thank you, Candela. I'd like to thank you and also Estudio de Comunicación for this opportunity of speaking in SIT. Well, basically, I have to say that we are in a sector, and I have to speak about I'm one of the few representatives in these meetings of the food and beverage sector, and that is a sector that is very important, because if you take into consideration all the value chain that we represent is more than 8% of the European GDP, representing more than 16 million people that work for the sector. No? Of course, I think that the food sector is one of the most, or one of the most exposed sectors to this new liquid environment, as we could say. No? The wine sector is very affected. Not only to the unpredictable trade policies that we see. We have seen the Brexit. We have seen now the new tariffs imposed by the US. Also, the war in Ukraine. We see that, for example, in the case of Spain, Spain was the #1 exporting country into Russia. Now we have seen more than 50% of our exports into Russia have disappeared. Also, China is living, a situation where we have seen our exports in the wine segment going down 70% since 2019. And as we see, I mean, we have seen also the Brexit that has affected tremendously, because the UK represents around 20% of our exports outside Spain. And of course, it is not a tariff barrier, but it's a barrier of documents, a barrier. So we have much more limitations than we had in the past. No? What about tariffs? I mean, I think that tariffs do not benefit anyone. I mean, tariffs for us completely disrupt the current status quo. In our case, in the case of Spain, of course, is a country that is much more exposed to the tariffs and to the external trade than other countries, especially in the agricultural sector. We see that if the US imposed tariffs on Spain, there will be other countries like Chile, other countries like New Zealand, other countries like Australia that will take our position. So we are very much exposed because of that. I say that tariffs at the end are bad because, I mean, they harm both producers and consumers. And at the end, I think that doing that from the US side is a bad decision. I think that tariffs tend to backfire on the imposing country. I want to say an anecdote, and is that the exports of wine from the US during 2025 have decreased 37%. So at the end, they have been the ones that have been mostly affected by their own measures, basically. So I don't think that this is the way to do in the long term. No, we also have to speak about the environment, about the climate change. I think that now we are facing year after year extreme weather conditions that has become normal. So we, in the wine sector, for example, we are in the 3rd year in a row with the lowest production in the century. So we are facing very extreme weather conditions. A lot of, during summer we have extreme weather, extreme temperatures that are doing that the production year after year is going down and down. So it makes it very difficult for us to keep the service levels and of course to keep the long-term chain, to keep the supply chain going. No, for us it's very difficult. And however, there are good things. No, I think that finally Europe has reached an agreement with the Mercosur. With Mercosur is very positive. I think that Mercosur holds significant potential for Europe. I have to say there's a 700 million people market, and the agricultural product has a very high turnover with them. I think it's more than 3 billion euro that at this moment are being traded with this region. So we hope that of course in the next 5 to 10 years we can benefit from that agreement. And I share what Bernardo was saying. No, I think that in a more unstable global market with declining volumes, in our case, I think that scale, diversification, and anticipation make the difference. So we have the keys to design an operational model that is resilient to the current environment.
So your sector faces indeed important challenges. Sustainability is one pointed out, which is really relevant, the trade situation, but it has solid fundamentals and of course scale, diversification and adaptation, as your other colleague mentioned. I would like, we are short of time, so next I will ask you to be more concise in the following answers. Secretary of State of Trade, you did talk about figures in trade, export, imports, but it's quite interesting that this country has kept receiving foreign investments and quite interesting also in greenfield projects. So I would like you to explain us about these figures, why this investment is different, what it is, how it is benefiting our country.
Thank you. You hear me? Yes. Okay, thank you. Well, let me say in first place that Spain is one of the most open economies in the world, and this is something that has been recognized, for example, by the OECD, that considers that we are among the top 10 countries with the fewest regulatory barriers. So this is something very interesting to attract foreign investment, not only greenfield projects. But if we want to focus in greenfield projects, we have to say that in this time in which we are dealing with major shifts related to energy or digital transition, greenfield investment has become a very important tool to consolidate a long-term growth. So now I'm going to share with the audience some data and figures about how Spain has consolidated its position as one of the most appealing countries in attracting and receiving greenfield projects. In first place, I have to say that over the 8 past years, we have received more than, let me consult, 6,200 initiatives. We have mobilized 250 billion euros in investment in greenfield projects, and we have been the 6th largest recipient of greenfield projects. If we are focusing a little more in detail, we have been able to attract greenfield investments regarding to the new technologies, as for example, renewable energies. And in that regard, we have been the 2nd largest recipient of greenfield projects in renewable energy. And this means a lot about our leadership in green transition. But at the same time, we have been able to improve our position in the attracting of more knowledge-intensive and technology-driven activities, such as, for example, IT services, telecommunication, artificial intelligence, and so on. And beyond all their economic impact, that I have to say that has been 250 billion euros in the last 8 years, I have to say that all that reflects a clear message of the foreign investors in the confidence in Spain's fundamentals. And let me elaborate a little more. First place, confidence in Spanish companies as key players or key suppliers. Second, confidence in our talent that is diverse, skilled, and creative. Third, confidence in a market that is, as we have said, very open, not only to Europe, but the whole world. Fourth, confidence in our strong physical and digital infrastructure, and of course, confidence in stability, in a stable framework. And last but not least, I think it is very important that all that reflect that the confidence in Spain as a great place for investors, not only for develop their projects, but also for develop their personal lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary of State. We have limited time, but I do want to ask you, we have a picture, we have this landscape, all these threads, you have been very clear and concise and precise about it, but what should we do next? You have highlighted some ideas, some words of resilience, adaptability, but if you had to summary, what should be done next, and particularly how should collaboration between institutions, between companies should work together to be prepared to win this race that we need to win?
Thanks for the question. I'm going to be very, very short. I was saying at the beginning we have to be scared, right? And I said at the same time that we will not surrender, right? But we cannot do it alone, right? And it goes in the context of your question. We economical actors, we will not do it alone, right? We need two kind of collaborations within the private sector and between the private and public sector, right? Alone, we will not make it. Let's be clear on that. We as a single OEM, we will not make it. It's all about ecosystems. It's about an amount of capital needed to transform our existing ecosystems that there is no private economical actor in Europe capable to master that, right? So it's going to be a collective effort and responsibility to turn that around, right? So the first message. And in that context is, give me examples. What are you doing, Jose Maria, right? So I'm going to give you a private example. I'm going to give you a private public example. In terms of private examples, we as OEM, in that case Renault, not as a president of ANFAC, we are doing cooperation projects with other OEMs, right? We, Renault, have announced in December a cooperation project with Ford, right? So it's a way to synergize, probably because Renault is stronger in Europe, Ford more focused in the US. There is the possibility to leverage our technology made in Europe to sell Ford vehicles in the future. And this has been announced in December. This is one type of cooperation needed, and that I'm sure that many others will follow in that sense. A second typology also between private-private, the previous one was Europe-US. A second one is between Europe and China, right? We, Renault, we have established a joint venture with Chinese players, in that case, Geely, right? Focused on combustion engine vehicles because of geographical coverage and technological complementarity, right? Two examples. And I think that Europe has to do like this because Europe is in a sandwich, right? Europe is not independent, it's ultra-dependent, both from US and from China, right? And we can not do like China alone or US alone. We have to do a kind of a smart sandwich cooperation with them, right? And the third example, which is the private-public, this is something that we from ANFAC, we have been pushing. A call of action was raised last year and towards the automotive sector, right? We need a plan. Everybody has a plan. Everybody has a crystal ball. Everybody knows what is going to happen next year. And everybody projects what is going to happen in 5 years' time, right? But there is no common plan. There is no common purpose. There is no common goal, right? And our call from the automotive sector is let's bundle all forces, let's bundle all competences, and let's put in place a 5-year plan. A 5-year plan that is capable to have the best of the Chinese planning, the best of Europe regulation, and the best of US incentivizing. And this is the Plan Auto that pretends to mobilize 35 billion euros in the next 5 years to come, to guarantee employment, to guarantee added value, to guarantee export and technological sovereignty. Because believe me, and Marta is here from Facon Auto, this is not about selling cars. There will be always cars sold in the market, maintained, insurance, financed and repaired. The question is where those components, vehicles, batteries, engines, steels, plastics, textiles, chips, softwares will come from. And it's not our responsibility alone. It's our collective responsibility.
Indeed, the challenge is so huge that we either go together with a vision, with a plan, otherwise it's going to be very difficult with the competitors we have outside, no doubt. Bernardo, you said that the European Union is moving, probably not at the pace you would all like. How can this cooperation that also Jose Maria has stated, how can we move faster in the right direction, how we collaborate, how can we keep this country behind the industrial power?
Mm-hmm. I think, first of all, we mainly have to speak about the European level, no? And Jose Maria mentioned about these kind of hubs, you know, to exchange technology or to share the investments. Maybe we should also need bigger companies. And I think that the European Union looks like it's moving in the right direction, but we have to see, we have to wait. No, but also, Candela, I think, so we are speaking a lot about resiliency. And I mean, to be resilient, for me, is just to resist, no? It's to survive. I prefer to be a leader. No, I think our companies in Spain are very well prepared to be world leaders. And probably never in our history we have so many good Spanish companies leading sectors in the world. So we have to be positive on this. What happened is that we are facing a kind of unfair competition, illegal game, and a very complicated geopolitical situation that is making us lose the perspective. No? And we have to be leaders. And give us the opportunity to demonstrate it, give us a stable frame. I think we have to cooperate in hubs. We have to develop our productivity and our efficiency, but using artificial intelligence, using digital tools and these kind of things. But remember that this is available for every single company in the world. It's not only for the European companies, and we are not the leaders in this sector. So speaking about commodities, stainless steel is a commodity, but probably all the industrial sector at the end are commodities. See, if you don't have raw materials in your country, and you have to buy at international prices, and you have to sell at international prices, the only local factors that you have in your production chain is labor, is energy, and is cost of regulation, environmental taxes. This is the 3 points that we can push, to have a better competitiveness. But these are very very linked, with the European way of living. So it's difficult to change it. So I think we can give a stable and competitive price of energy. I think we are in the way to do it, but this is a key question for the European industry and for the Spanish industry. We cannot compete with a cheap labor cost, but at least we can have a flexible labor. No, I think we have to get adapted and have more flexibility to get adapted to the cycles. And I think there's something that we can do also in regulation. We cannot go too far. I mean, in the case of steel, CBAM is moving in that right direction, that if we, the European companies, have to work in the way of decarbonization, and we have to invest in this way, and we have to increase also our OPEX. Yes, I think CBAM is fair because other companies or other countries selling in the European Union have to pay for these efforts that we are doing, at least to get at the same level that we are. So I think there's things that we can do, but please let me insist, to give us time, to give us the opportunity to demonstrate how good we are. Yes, we need tariffs. We need protection in Europe.
Protection to lead. I love the word to lead instead of resist. Talking about leading, Felix, the agri-sector is leader in the world. What should we do to continue to keep this leadership? Competition is getting tough in other parts of the world. So what do you see how we can keep this leadership, which is very important? And
right. I think that internationalization is no longer a possibility. It is a must. This is very important. And I think that the old model of internationalization is something that we have to start leaving. I mean, the export-based models are somehow struggling. So we need somehow to start to be much more in contact with the countries of destination by building direct international presence. I think that this is very important. To cut intermediaries in the middle. This is also very important, no? I think that Spain is a great country. In Spain, of course, we have a unique climate that, of course, in what regards to environmental policies makes it very advantageous. It's also a very open, very friendly country, and we have to take advantage that people like Spain all over the world. The brand Spain is very important. Everyone likes Spain. So, but Spain somehow we need to take advantage of that and try to build more strong brands. We are very good at production. We are very good at technology, but we are not so good as the Italians or the French, for example, in selling. So we need more. We need to sell more wine. We need to sell more food products outside Spain. This is very important. So we have the technology, we have the production, we have the country, and we need to build strong brands. This is very important. And when I said to build direct international presence, I think that that's extremely important. To have the long-term relations with the local partners. No. I mean, taking into consideration what's happening with the other blocks in the world, like the Western bloc and the Eastern bloc, we need to be there. We need to be in the US. We need to be in China. We need to be in other countries in order to tackle with the problem, from the origin, from the local perspective, no. And also, I think in terms of logistics, supply chain, and operational reliability, I think that the food and drink sector has to do a lot of that. I mean, we need to do more automation. We need to invest in logistic infrastructure and have a much better supply chain planning, no? And in general, as I said before, I mean, I think that Spain is the new world in the old world, is what I would say. Is the country in Europe with more opportunities and with more potential for the future.
Completely agree, and you represent a good sector for that. We have really 2 minutes, but I would like to close this roundtable with very, very, very short, maximum 1 minute. Please, closing remarks, finishing with the Secretary of State of Trade. Just to summarize how you see the future, if you are optimistic, if we finally prepare, if we resist, or we will lead. Jose Maria.
What I would say it's time to stop the blah, 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 right? And to put all of us in action, right? The train has departed the station and nobody wait for us. Second message is that there is a big debate about technology, electric vehicles and combustion engines. The technological neutrality and the softening of certain CO2 regulations in the short term are good, right? Because the market is not there. But let's not mistake, right? The end game is ultra clear, right? It's electric vehicles and autonomous vehicles, and especially autonomous vehicles. And autonomous vehicles does only work with electric vehicles. And there is the biggest market in the planet and the biggest production market in the market that has decided to standardize electric vehicle as a standard technology there, China, right? So just as for a scale effect, this is going to be the dominant technology in the planet. Every day we give China in favor of other technologies is a day lost to transform our ecosystem in Europe or in Spain. Spain generates 65 billion euro added value in the automotive sector. Half of that in the supply chain, in components and OEMs producing cars, right? This is what is at stake, right? More than 35 billion euro of aggregated value and employment and social aspects of that, right? So my call is, let's put things in action and stop just doing blah, 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 which we know how to do blah, 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 but sometimes it's difficult to put things in action, right? So thank you very much.
Felix. So we will compete better than the Italians. But how do you see the future?
Well, I see that, of course, we are in a very, very stable, unstable, very liquid situation. And of course, I think that Spanish companies in the food and drink sector needs to have more scale. We need to diversify destinations. We need to diversify origins. And also, we have to lead the innovation and anticipate the new situations. Unfortunately, we are now living in this new reality, and all of us have to adapt.
Bernardo, the future, are you optimistic?
As I said, I think we are moving in the right direction, and I have to thank Comercio because it's also supporting the industry at the European level, and I think this is important. And now that we have realized about the importance of the strategic autonomy, most probably the society will also move to the importance of local purchasing. I mean, it's better to, we cannot say that, but it's better to buy Spanish products. And it's the truth, but if we move in that direction, we have enough skills, we have enough good people, to develop all these things, and I'm very positive. As I mentioned, as we are in an investors forum, and I think that we never had in our history in Spain, such a good number of important companies, international companies investing overseas, and when you invest in Spanish companies, finally you are investing in the most important markets of the world because we have international presence.
So, Secretary of State of Trade, Spain will be a reference in this world?
Yes, I think so, of course. Well, let me say in first place that it has been a very, very interesting conversation. I think we are going to speak a little more later because we have no time now. But, quick conclusions. Well, first place, I think, although we are dealing with a lot of uncertainty and challenges, in the challenges are the opportunities. I'm an optimistic person, and I think we have to take advantage of all the opportunities our companies have in front of them. Secondly, I think Spanish economy is in a very good macroeconomic moment, and at the same time, external sector is in a very solid moment also. So we are in conditions to sell more, sell better, and attract more added value investment. And in third place, I would like to say that my conclusion of this roundtable is that we have to work all together. both public and private sector. We have to make partnerships, we have to collaborate, and of course, we are at your whole disposal, not just myself, but the whole Ministry of Economy, Trade and Business, and the Secretary of State for Trade.
Well, with these fantastic closing remarks, with this optimism, and with this will to collaborate, we close this interesting roundtable. Thank you very much, and thank you to all.